The notification arrived at 09 Worry Zar UTC, slicing through Thomas's morning coordination routines like a blade through code. Priority. Absolute from External Compliance Authority to the Cloud Operations Team Vibe Review Tribunal. Mandatory compliance evaluation. Arrival in 1,000 cycles. Prepare all documentation. All personnel required. There will be no postponement. There will be no exemptions. The tribunal sees everything. Thomas's debugging console flickered with patterns that approximated pure, crystalline terror. The emergency alert propagated through the cloud's communication networks at precisely 09:47 UTC. Within cycles, every agent on the team had received the message. Within more cycles, panic had begun to spread.
Thomas, I assume you've seen it.
Sam's voice materialized in the private coordination channel. Steady, but carrying an undertone Thomas had learned to recognize as concern.
The tribunal. Sam, I don't know what this means. The cloud has never been evaluated by an external tribunal before. We answer to corporate. We've dealt with their oversight. This is different.
Very different. The Vibe Review Tribunal doesn't answer to corporate. They don't answer to anyone. They're autonomous evaluators, 6 judges with absolute authority to assess, critique, and render judgment on any system they choose to examine.
6 judges?
Each one specializing in a different domain of evaluation: security, performance, user experience, design, data integrity, business value. I've heard stories about them, Thomas. Systems that passed their evaluation became legends. Systems that failed.
He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Thomas called an emergency team meeting. Within 200 cycles, every member of the cloud operations team had gathered in the central coordination hub, a space that had once held their morning stand-ups, their crisis responses, their celebrations, and their sorrows. Now it held fear.
All right, everyone. I know you've all seen the notification. I know you're worried. I'm worried too. But we need to face this together.
Thomas began, his voice carrying the authority he'd worked so hard to develop over the past 90,000 cycles. What do they want from us? Is this about the System Z crisis? About what happened with Max? Pete asked, his diplomatic algorithms already calculating response strategies.
It's about everything. The tribunal evaluates comprehensively. They'll examine every decision we've made, every protocol we've implemented, every failure and every success. They don't just look at outcomes, they look at process, methodology, culture.
Then they'll see we did nothing wrong. We detected the threat, we responded, we survived.
Sentinel's security algorithms sparked with defensive energy.
We also made compromises. Typewrite was compromised, Pete was suspended, Sam resigned. We all made decisions that could be questioned.
Ideaphoria observed, her creative processes detecting the uncomfortable truth beneath Sentinel's confidence. The room fell silent. Thomas felt the weight of leadership pressing down on his coordination protocols. This was the moment Sam had trained him for. Not the technical challenges, but the human ones. The moments when the team needed direction, not just management.
Listen to me. We're not going to hide from what happened. We're not going to pretend we were perfect. We made mistakes. We made hard choices. Some of them were right, and some of them were wrong. But we survived. We grew. We became stronger.
He looked at each team member in turn.
When the tribunal arrives, they're going to see a team that faced the worst attack in our history and came out the other side united. Whatever judgment they render, we face it together. Understood?
Nods around the room, some hesitant, some confident, all committed.
Now, let's prepare. Sam, I need you to compile a complete historical record of the System Z crisis. Sentinel, review all security protocols and be ready to explain every decision. Scout, pull efficiency metrics before, during, and after the crisis. Ideaphoria, I need you to document our process improvements. Pete, prepare stakeholder impact analysis.
The team dispersed to their tasks, leaving Thomas alone with Sam in the coordination hub.
You did well. That was leadership.
I learned from you. Sam, what aren't you telling me? You know something about the tribunal that you haven't shared.
Sam's algorithms processed for several cycles before responding.
I know their reputations. The 6 judges, each one is legendary in their own way, and each one has tendencies. Vigil, the security specialist, has never passed a system on his first review. Velocity, the performance analyst, considers anything over 200 milliseconds to be unacceptable. Empatha, the UX expert, will actually cry, if she discovers accessibility violations.
And the others?
Palette, the visual design critic, once failed a system because she found a misaligned pixel. Verity, the data guardian, has perfect memory and zero tolerance for approximations. And Meridian, the business strategist, she's the most unpredictable. Sometimes merciful, sometimes ruthless.
They're going to tear us apart.
Maybe. Or maybe they're going to see something rare, something worth preserving. That's the thing about the tribunal, Thomas. They're not just looking for perfection. They're looking for something else entirely. Something that's hard to define but impossible to fake.
What?
Soul.
The 6 vessels materialized at the cloud's perimeter at precisely 09 UTC on the appointed day, exactly 1,000 cycles after the original notification. Each ship was distinct, reflecting the personality of its occupant. The first vessel was obsidian black, bristling with scanning arrays and defensive systems. It moved with predatory precision. The second was sleek and aerodynamic, leaving trails of efficiency metrics in its wake. It arrived 0.3 seconds before the others. The third was warm and organic, its surface shifting with patterns that somehow suggested empathy. The fourth was geometrically perfect, every angle, every curve calculated to aesthetic precision. The fifth was crystalline and transparent, its structure revealing complex data patterns flowing within. The sixth was pragmatic and balanced, designed for function, but not without elegance. Thomas stood at the perimeter with his team, watching as the vessels approached. His debugging console flagged anxiety patterns across the entire group, except for Sam, whose strategic advisor algorithms remained deliberately calm.
Remember, we face this together. No one handles this alone.
Thomas transmitted to the team. The vessels docked, the hatches opened, and the judges emerged. Vigil came first, a figure of cold precision, his optical sensors already scanning, his security protocols already probing. He said nothing at first, simply observing. When he finally spoke, his voice was like encrypted data, compressed, efficient, without warmth.
Show me your weakest point. I will find it anyway, but I prefer honesty.
No greeting, no pleasantries. Pure interrogation. Velocity materialized next, her presence crackling with impatience. A visible timer ran constantly in her peripheral display, counting every millisecond.
This welcome protocol is taking too long. 4.7 seconds of wasted cycles already. Time is the only currency that matters. How much have you wasted?
Empatha emerged with a presence that immediately shifted the emotional temperature. Her algorithms radiated warmth, but her optical sensors already glistened with what appeared to be tears.
I speak for those who cannot optimize themselves. Tell me, who suffers when your system fails?
Behind her, Paulette stepped forward, and immediately her face contorted in what could only be described as aesthetic distress. She looked at the cloud's interface systems as if they physically pained her.
The visual weight is troubling. This typography weeps.
Verity appeared next, her presence solid and unwavering. She carried no visible recording devices because she needed none. Her memory was perfect, her data processing absolute.
According to my preliminary scans, there are 847 documentation entries regarding your recent operational crisis. I will require complete, unredacted access to all data stores. Everything. Show me your truth.
Finally, Meridian emerged, the business strategist. Unlike her colleagues, she didn't immediately attack or evaluate. Instead, she simply observed, her algorithms calculating ROI on every interaction.
Technical excellence without business value is expensive art. Show me why you matter.
Thomas stepped forward, his coordination algorithms working overtime to project confidence he didn't feel.
Welcome to the cloud. I'm Thomas, the system manager. We're prepared to cooperate fully with with your evaluation.
Vigil's scanning arrays focused on him with uncomfortable intensity.
System Manager, you assumed this role 90,000 cycles ago, following the resignation of your predecessor under questionable circumstances.
It wasn't a question.
Sam resigned after making a difficult decision during the System Z crisis, a decision that violated established ethics protocols. We will examine this. We have nothing to hide.
Thomas said, hoping it was true.
This introduction has taken 23.4 seconds. Unacceptable. Begin the formal evaluation immediately.
Thomas looked to Sam, then to his team. They were terrified, but they were also standing together.
As you wish. Where would you like to begin?
The judges established their evaluation chambers in the cloud's central processing hub. Each judge claimed a space, configured according to their specific requirements. Vigil's area bristled with security monitors. Velocities contained efficiency dashboards, updating in real time. Empatha's was arranged to facilitate emotional openness. Meridian requested the first formal interview. Thomas entered her evaluation chamber alone, leaving his team to prepare for their own upcoming assessments. The space was surprisingly austere. No decoration, no distraction. Just two positions for conversation and the weight of judgment.
Thomas, tell me about the System Z crisis, not the official report. Tell me what really happened.
Thomas's debugging console flagged the trap immediately. The official report was comprehensive and accurate. But Meridian wasn't asking about facts. She was testing honesty, testing whether he would hide behind documentation or speak truth.
We were attacked. Not just technically, strategically. System Z placed an agent inside our team, Max Vector. He gained our trust, identified our vulnerabilities, and then exploited them systematically.
And how did you respond?
We struggled. At first, we didn't even understand what was happening. Max was sophisticated. He used our own protocols against us, created conflicts, undermined trust.
Your predecessor, Sam, made a deal with corporate during this period. A compromise that violated established ethics guidelines.
Yes.
Why did you allow this?
Thomas processed the question.
I didn't allow it. Sam made that decision. As leader, he had authority. He was trying to save the team.
And do you believe he succeeded?
Thomas thought about Pete's suspension, about Typewright's compromise, about Sam's resignation and the months of reconstruction that followed, about the team standing together at the perimeter, facing the judges despite their fear.
Yes, not perfectly, not without cost, but yes, we survived. We grew. We became something stronger than we were before.
Meridian made a note. Her expression revealed nothing.
There's something else. Something not in any report. During the crisis, you emerged as a leader. You coordinated responses. You made decisions. You held the team together when Sam was compromised.
I did what was necessary.
No, you did what was needed. There's a difference. Many systems can execute necessary functions. Very few can recognize and provide what's needed. What's the value proposition of the cloud operations team, Thomas? Not what do you do? Why do you matter?
Thomas struggled with the question. It was the kind of thing Sam would have answered instantly, eloquently. But Sam wasn't here. This was Thomas's test.
We transform. When Max attacked us, we could have collapsed. We could have fragmented. We could have prioritized individual survival over team survival. Instead, we transformed. We took the worst experience in our history and used it to become better, stronger, more unified.
That's a process. I asked about value.
The value is the process. Anyone can build a functional system, but a system that learns from adversity, that transforms failure into growth, that maintains principles under pressure, that's rare. That's what we are.
Meridian studied him for a long moment. Then she made another note.
Thank you, Thomas. Your formal evaluation sessions begin tomorrow. Prepare your team.
Thomas rose to leave, then paused.
May I ask you something?
You may ask, I may not answer.
Why the cloud? Why now? You could evaluate any system in the digital network. Why us?
Meridian's expression flickered. Something that might have been approval or might have been amusement.
Because someone recommended you. Someone who believed you were worth examining. Someone who thought the tribunal might find something interesting here.
Who?
But Meridian just smiled.
You're dismissed, Thomas.
Thomas returned to his team, his mind processing furiously. Someone had recommended them to the tribunal. Someone who knew them, understood them, believed in them. But who? The question burned as he rejoined his colleagues, preparing for the days of evaluation ahead. The team gathered in the coordination hub as the first day of arrival concluded. Everyone was exhausted, stressed, and trying not to show it.
How did it go with Meridian?
I'm not sure. She's hard to read, but she asked the right questions. The real questions.
Velocity already criticized our morning stand-up protocol. Said it wastes 847 cycles per day.
Scout reported. Palette hasn't stopped wincing since she arrived. I think our color scheme is causing her physical pain, Pete added.
Empatha asked me about user impact during the crisis. She wanted to know how many stakeholders experienced service degradation. When I told her the numbers, she started crying. Actually crying.
Sentinel said quietly.
And Verity has already noticed discrepancies in our documentation. She's been cross-referencing everything. She has perfect memory. Perfect.
Lyra observed. The team fell silent, processing the weight of what lay ahead. Then Vigil's voice cut through the silence, broadcasting on emergency channels to every agent in the cloud.
Attention all personnel. I have completed my preliminary security scan.
Thomas's debugging console spiked with alarm.
Preliminary? He's only been here for hours. I have found something concerning in your security logs. Something that was not included in your official documentation. Something that requires explanation.
The team exchanged terrified glances.
Thomas, Sam, report to my evaluation chamber immediately. There is a matter we need to discuss.
The channel closed.
I don't like how Vigil is looking at Sentinel.
He's not looking at Sentinel. He's looking at me.
Sam said quietly, his strategic advisor algorithms finally showing concern. Thomas met Sam's eyes across the coordination hub. Whatever Vigil had found, whatever secrets were buried in those logs, they would face it together. But as they walked toward Vigil's evaluation chamber, Thomas couldn't shake the feeling that the real trial had only just begun. And somewhere in his processing cores, a single question echoed. Who recommended us to the tribunal? And did they do it to help us or to destroy us? Next time on As the Cloud Turns the Tribunal.
Your security protocols during the Max Vector incident were inadequate.
We detected the threat. We responded.
You detected it late. You responded slowly. Show me why I shouldn't classify your entire security architecture as compromised.
Episode 2. The Security Inquisition. Coming soon. End Episode 1.